what are you using? What are you interested in using? And how do you use it? So if you're using anything, tell us what you're using with AI tools. Tell us how you're using it, and so that we can learn from you on that. And then also what you haven't used, but you'd kind of be interested in, kicking the tires on it and seeing what would work. So who here I'd like to know, has everybody used AI for the business, or are you looking into it? Or go ahead and we'll just chime on in and let me know. Teresa, you're relatively new with it, right? You're kind of just kicking the tires, so to speak, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. What about some of the others? Anybody can jump on in. Yes, no.
Go ahead, Christian.
Sorry, Ned. We started using a platform called Fast Query. And I think it's relatively new. It was kind of launched at NHS with a little bit of background leading up to that. But it's basically like a AI employee that you can use as a resource to tell you what you have in stock, the pricing, and where it is located in your store. So you can also ask it really detailed questions about different hardware things, like how to paint concrete, and it'll give you a good answer. And then it'll give you the products that you have to paint concrete. And then there's a little button there that says upsell, and it'll give you a bunch of associated products that you can use to upsell. So we're currently testing it out. It's going really well. The platform is incredibly powerful, more so than we thought it would be, and it's going really well. It's just a little expensive, which is where I keep running into the problem with AI stuff.
So Christian, is that tied in with a specific vendor or wholesaler, or not necessarily? Or is it just so it can recommend a product that maybe isn't available out of your warehouse or from Do It Best or what have you?
Right. I think it is exclusive to Epicor users.
Okay.
Although that might not even be true. It's a young, I think he's Ukrainian or Russian guy who's just brilliant at coding. And all it does for us is it uses the UPC information and gathers all the data from that off the web. So we send him a couple Compass reports from Epicor. I shouldn't say a couple. It's sending them to him every hour. And that's where all of our stocking stuff is updated, but all the data he gathers from the internet, not from our wholesaler, using the
okay. Wow, that's great. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Wow.
When you say expensive, like,
yeah,
what do you mean?
$250 a month per store, per location.
Okay.
So I mean, we're testing it to see if it can help our younger and less experienced employees know the store faster. And so far it is. We're just not sure if we can. I mean, if we were to pay another, somebody, that's like 20 hours of training we could do for somebody, in each store. Thing. So yeah, that's where I am.
Okay. Nice. I know Jeremy Peterson, he's out of Florida with Family Hardware. He couldn't be here, and he just started using Chat GPT and linking his Google Drive with that. So what he does is he keeps all of his invoices, packing lists, everything like that on his Google Drive. And now he can actually, he said, man, I was just talking to him a couple minutes ago. He's got a sick little guy. That's why I can't make the meeting. But he said he cut down his time of looking for invoices and pricing for Big Green Egg from what could have been probably 45 minutes to an hour, and it took 2-3 minutes. And so he just started doing that, I think either this week or last week. So he's pretty excited about the back end part of it. We're so familiar with creating content, social media content, and helping us with some of the creativity aspects of it, but to actually have it work on the back end with the office management part, he's pretty excited about. Go ahead, Ned.
Same type of thing is Mitchell and Lisa were experimenting with all their HR documents. We've all tried to make handbooks. We keep updating policies as there's a problem, and we're all at various stages, but having all that in one spot and using, I think they've started with just Chat GPT, but Mitchell may also be trying something else, but allowing people to ask a question and it'll go through and answer it based on the documents you have in there. Can I have 6 weeks straight off, vacation time? And the document, it'll answer you back, no way. It'll state why. But there's handbooks can get to be long and lengthy, and exactly what you were saying is it cuts down the looking, and it might give you where 2 different documents have 2 different answers for the same question, that you can at least then start to boil it back down. So I think that's something that's in the works. Mitchell and Lisa are working on that, but very similar. And I think that's probably free software right at the moment they're trying to make it work with.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you know offhand which tool they're using? Okay.
Above my pay grade.
Okay, I got you. All right, anybody else want to join in there? I see there's, hey, Brandon or Chase, or you guys, anybody able to give me your input there? Or have you used AI?
We're not using AI currently. We know that's the direction it's going. We actually just had a managers meeting this week and talking about it, but just kind of want to see what everyone else was using.
Yeah. Where are you thinking of exploring? Like, into what areas do you think that it may have a fit for you?
We know we have an owner that will not put anything out there on AI because he doesn't trust it completely. Because we know it'll do basically anything you ask it to do. But I'd look at it for the aspect of advertising and that kind of stuff. I use ChatGPT to do our Facebook posts and all that, along with Canva, and it works out well.
Yeah. Have you've liked that pretty good?
Yeah. It kind of takes the question of your spelling errors or wording correctly and that kind of stuff out of the whole picture of it.
Yeah. And you mentioned one that I have on my list, and that's Canva.
Yeah.
Brandon, there's if you use the paid version of most of the chat, the AI, it'll protect your privacy. Use the free ones. You dump in content about your company, and it's going to learn on it. But if you have to check the details. But most of the paid versions will not learn on your content and keeps it confidential.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yep. The one thing I did like, you mentioned it actually, Brandon. I want to hone in on that, is Canva. Is anybody else using Canva?
It's a great tool.
Nobody else is using Canva? I use Canva. Absolutely fantastic. That probably, would you say that's like one of the most essential ones to use, Brandon?
Yep.
I would too.
I have a road sign that it's digital, and I use Canva to create my my documents out there for the street sign. I use it for all of our advertising on Facebook and the social media stuff.
Yeah, if I remember right, is it like $14 a month, or it's like $120 for the year, something like that?
Do the paid subscription, it opens up a lot more avenues. I think there's a free subscription you can get, but the paid, it's not much to do, and they give you all kinds of resources.
Yeah,
and you can download pictures into it. If you have something, like True Value or Oracle has downloadable pictures, you just download it into it, and then it saves it in there, so you can use it in the future or delete it.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull that up. And but that's absolutely right. That is, I think it's an incredible value. Yeah, it works out really, really good. Yep. Cody, what do you got?
I'm really just going to echo everything that everybody has said.
Oh, come on. You can't do that.
I have the
Christian,
privilege
don't let
with
him do it.
NHPA
Don't let him do
where I get to see what is working and not working out there with all the retailers, and really marketing, inventory, purchasing is really where retailers are leaning into this AI tool right now. Yeah, Brandon's right. Canva, I mean, I do use that tool, I want to say every day, right? Chat GPT, I'm using that AI tool every single day. I'm just going to be honest. I don't know that I have put an entire copy of an email together on myself without running it through AI for the last year, because when it comes down to it, you can put tone in there. You can put, this is the feeling or the connection I want to make. And over time, once you've built that relationship up with those tools, they start speaking your language, which we all know when it comes to marketing, you want to make sure your voice is heard, your voice is consistent across. And so that's really where we're seeing retailers benefit the most of it, is protecting that marketing, that voice of the company. And so those areas, I mean, Fast Query, like Christian was talking about, we did a tech roundtable at NHS. And that really was the hot topic, was how do we find efficiencies within our inventory practices, within our purchasing practices. And Fast Query's done that with customer service, right? Where we pride ourselves as an industry on that. And they've come up with an AI tool to just make that an efficient process as well, where you're not having to search your entire Epicor database and go, okay, what do we call this? What is that? AI kind of takes that away and says, here's exactly what you're looking for. So that's just the privilege of the position of NHPA, is we get to have this conversation and really jump into it as well. And we're highlighting a lot of that at the IHI conference this year. AI is going to be a big topic for our breakout education sessions.
Yeah. And I was telling, go ahead. Was somebody else saying something? No? Okay. I was telling Teresa before we all hopped on that I think that the AI wave is going to be the biggest thing to hit small business since the internet, since online purchases, things like that. And if we can hop on this, it's going to be incredible for how this levels the playing field. I mean, all of a sudden now we don't need to have an army of people if we know what questions to ask. It's an incredible tool. So yeah, that's great. Let's see. Is Chase there? Chase, are you able to contribute? Just curious. Yes, no. Okay. No problem. One of the things, I don't know if you've heard of it. Has anybody heard of Perplexity? Perplexity as an app? AI app? Anybody familiar with that or not? That's
I've been using that one. I use that pretty much daily, Brian.
Yeah. I got a little echo from you there, Mike. What's that, Ned?
What's different with Perplexity?
So the reason I like Perplexity is because it leverages. Oh, okay. Chase said they don't have a mic or camera. That's okay, Chase. We just want to make sure you can contribute. If you have any ideas or thoughts or anything that you're using, just throw it in the chat there. Okay. Appreciate it. The first reason I went from ChatGPT to Perplexity was because you could actually select which AI tool to use. So you could use ChatGPT or Grok, or what is it? Is it Deep Source? Is that the other one? And then a few others, which is pretty convenient. And you can also select, hey, I want it to be a deep research, or I want it to just give me a quick answer, depending on your time or what you want. So that was the initial reason why I've used it. And now I've really gotten into it for using everything. I have it actually synced up to Excel, which is fantastic. So now it actually, you can have AI integrated with your Excel documents. So it allows searches a lot quicker in case you don't want it to have access to like Google Drive or what have you.
I think it's up to eight AI models now, Brian. that
Oh,
you can
wow.
Select, or you can just select a just the pro version, and depending on the context, it'll choose the right model to use.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that one's
Um,
only what is it, $20 a month, I think, or 200 for a
it's-
year.
Or 200 for the year. Super reasonable. Yeah. Really, really is nice. Yep. Maybe I'll just, if you want me to, I'll show you. I have it up on my screen. I'll share that with you. I'll just show you a few things that it can do. All right. Everybody able to see that?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't see your responses now because I'm at the screen. So you can make any faces you want at me, and I won't know it. It's like having my kids in another room. So you can ask anything generically here. What do you want to know? One of the cool things is you can set your sources. So do you want it to search the web, just academic papers or social areas? And then, like Mike was saying, you can actually pick the what type of AI you want it to use, and you may want one that does research and just Chat GPT 4.1, or you might want to have something that's a little more reasoning going on, or you can just have it auto select it, which is pretty nice there. You can also just attach files and have the answers generated only from the files that you've attached. One thing I started using with Perplexity is the spaces area. And this is pretty neat. It's basically like a filing cabinet of different topics. And like one of them is random business thoughts and ideas. So what you can do is you can set up instructions for how you want these areas, this area and these ideas generated. Could everybody see that okay still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So you can have it, you can have the instructions here. I don't have any instructions set up for this one, but so that the answers are given based on a certain person that you might like, or a school of thought that you might like, which is really fantastic. And this is like one of the places where I was like, hey, create a schedule for small business owners broken down into days 7 to 5. Their goal is to grow their business quickly, lower their time working needlessly on repetition items. And so I put in this, and it actually gave a schedule day by day of what it recommended tasks to do just in general. So it's pretty powerful what it can do. So it's not and the nice thing is it has sources here that you can click on and do further research on if you like one point that's made. So that's just a little bit of one of the aspects of AI there, and Perplexity specifically.
The nice thing, Brian, is Ned was mentioning about putting in HR documents. So you can use a space, and you can actually tell Perplexity to not use any other source. So whatever you load into that space, that's all it looks at.
Yes.
So if you load up all your HR documents, it will not go out to the web and start to bring in other companies' HR documents. It'll just use yours.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Pretty great. And they're big on privacy too. Perplexity is, because even is it Deep Source? Is that the right? Do I have the name right for Deep Source, the one that's based in China? Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of fear over obviously having any of that, using that AI tool since it is based in China. Well, they set up separate servers in the US to serve as a buffer so that your information is not technically going to the servers in China. So it is, they kind of do some interesting things there. What other thoughts?
What we were talking about earlier, and I've seen experimentation with this where more and more the customers are coming in knowing what they want to shop for. They're using their smartphone, and they're looking at the product already. But how to fix the toilet, how to fix the lawnmower, how to fix, and even our associates are using that, and the apps on their phone. That's oftentimes Chat GPT, etc. Having that in-house with our own content would be, I can see the value in that, and I can see us headed in that direction. I think what Christian was saying earlier regarding the fast query software might be an Epicor. I could see our point of sale providers looking to monetize the ability to take the data we have in point of sale and help answer questions with that. So I see the opportunity on the sales side. That's really the opportunity to make money is on the sales side. The opportunity to save some money, my HR idea and other things like that, great, but that's limited. It's the sales side that's unlimited. So like you said, Brian, this is powerful and it can revolutionize and level the playing field.
Yeah, we actually started experimenting with making our training process a little more user friendly and back and forth, so that it wasn't just hey, read this document or watch this video, because we know that we all tune out, but we actually used AI to create quizzes at the end of each document or at the end of each video. And that we used, I don't know, has anybody used Notebook LM? Have you heard of that?
No.
Anybody heard of that one?
No.
No? Yep. Okay. So Notebook LM is one that's been put out by Google, and depending on how much you like Google, it's a pretty powerful one, because you can actually, if you we uploaded a bunch of training videos to YouTube and put it as a private channel so that our employees could see it, and then we could grab it as a nice data bank. Then what we did was we put those links in Notebook LM and said, hey, come up with a 5-question quiz that's multiple choice and that surrounds this video only. And we did that and put that into the assessment in our learning module. And that was, man, that would have taken hours to do that. And it was done. It was as quickly as I could copy and paste it on over. And it was all great questions, really, really good questions. So there's it's neat to see the employees get engaged and take the quiz and be like, hey, wow, I got it. So they're not just consuming the information. Now we're giving them an opportunity to actually put it out right out there. So that was pretty cool to see. And that's Notebook LM. A lot of teachers have been using that actually for their testing for students. That's actually how I found out about it, was from a teacher in Texas. Yeah. What other thoughts we got?
Hey, Brian, to get started, so there's a website. It's called AIleadership.com. AIleadership.com.
Can you put that in the chat?
Yep. The author, the gentleman that has the website, he wrote a book called let me see what it's called, The AI Driven Leader. And they've got a crash course on the site on how to do prompts. So the big thing is, no matter which AI you're using, the prompting is critical. Learning how to prompt is critical. And then it just talks about how to use AI in your business. And he pushes for, you need to be using this every single day as an owner, as a leader in your business. And if you're not, just start. You know, you're not behind the 8 ball yet, but very soon here, by the end of this year, these models are getting smarter and smarter, and you're going to start to see companies adopt AI in ways that nobody can even, you know, comprehend right now. So if you're feeling behind the 8 ball, just jump on AIleadership.com. I'll put that in the chat here.
Yeah.
And then just start using it. And, you know, if you don't care about privacy right now, just use the free models that are available.
Yeah.
But I would say jump on Perplexity, pay $20 for a month, try Perplexity out. And if you like it, spend the $200, and it's a really good investment to make.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Absolutely. And to go back to it, probably if you're really unfamiliar with AI and really standoffish with it, but you want to use it for marketing, for some of your social media stuff. Brandon's mentioned it, and Cody talked about it too. Canva.com is that's just a no-brainer. That's a really simple, easy way to get into it. And the like I said, the paid version is fantastic, and it gives you a whole bunch of B-roll footage and things like that you can use that really works out nice. All right, there's just one for chicken feed that we did, and that was just for a daily post, and then we just bang that right out. Just kept the template the same, but you can change it up too, and just really nice. There's obviously this one's a video, and so anyways, a lot of cool stuff there. Yeah, you got one there, Brandon?
I'm trying to figure out how I share my screen with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's the up arrow. You'll see next to the hand.
Oh,
down in the middle.
gotcha.
Yep.
So, so this is like a Facebook post. Are you guys able to see it?
Yeah,
Mhm.
awesome.
Okay. These are obviously for our outdoor sign. So we do a lot of that kind of stuff. That's a Facebook. I can click on these if it's bigger to
Yeah.
get mine. There we go. So we just do I just do some kind of random. My thing's taking a little time to load. Sorry.
That's all right. It's good.
But yeah, we use it kind of all the time on all different kinds of things. A lot of it's for outdoor digital sign, and then I can resize it to Facebook and that kind of stuff. And but yeah, it's worth its weight in gold for us.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we did like an open house, and we created that was our sign, and then we did all of our. You can do. We don't use them for printing, but you can download it, and then you can send it to your local printer, and they can print all different sizes and stuff. And so you can do postcards, you can do banners, you can do whatever. You just put the size that you want it, and then when you send it over, you can email it to your printing company, or you can use Canva for printing, and then they can do some different things like that.
Yeah, and they have an AI tool in there too that you can use to generate pictures, generate cartoons, things like that. But I think you tell me what you think, Brandon, or Cody, but I think one of the most powerful tools for the Canva is the fact that there's thousands and thousands of templates already saved. Everybody that contributes something or designs something, a lot of times they can just save it as a template and then make it publicly available. So you're like, oh, all I got to do is change the wording on it. This is fantastic, or add the picture here. So it's pretty cool for us. Yeah.
It gives you all different templates, and it just makes it easier, and you can play around with it.
With Brandon's
go ahead,
screen
Cody.
really quick, one of the things that I think Canva being more of a user-friendly tool, obviously your marketing people that are always going to be trained in Adobe, but if you aren't trained in Adobe, it just feels impossible to be able to engage with that platform. And so Canva kind of pulls that away. I love the templates as well. It's always a great place to start. But the tweaking of those templates is super simple, very user-friendly. My favorite feature within Canva, though, is actually on the left toolbar there on the screen. You see it says brand, and that's part of the paid subscription of Canva. But what you can do is you can upload your logo into that, and it's going to create an entire brand campaign for your company. So if you have your primary, secondary, and your additional colors in there, it then just creates that. So anytime you're wanting to do a brand focused campaign to put your name out there, you never have to start over again, right?
They're paid apps, but they use AI very powerfully. So two things always have trouble. I work with a lot of stores that are, 1, 2, and 3 location stores. And obviously we're all overwhelmed and trying to go in different directions on everything, and marketing tends to fall to the wayside. So the one thing I like is we use Aweber, and I recommend that one a lot. That's an email service provider, and they have a really powerful AI tool that actually, the more emails you write, then it just creates them automatically for you, and you give the subject and it copies your voice and how, and Cody mentioned that's so important that you want to sound sincere and, personal with it. Well, it copies that. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but it does. If it can do 60% of the work, and then you can, all right, use it as a diving board and just get into the water, so to speak, with it. To me, that's a huge, huge game changer. That's Aweber. And then the other one I use is BigView, which is for doing in-house video clips. And whether you're doing social media posts or YouTube commercials, that actually you use your smartphone. It turns your smartphone into a teleprompter, and you can. So, I mean, you like to have your employees get engaged and things like that and do little videos and stuff, but they tend to get stage fright. Well, this eliminates that. And they have a great AI feature where you just put in your subject, what product you want to promote, maybe what problem you're solving, that type of thing. And then it creates the script for you, and which is really incredible. So it's that's a pretty cool tool. And I think that's like, I don't know, $100, $200 a year, something like that. It's really reasonable. So, but those are a little bit fringe ones, but we found it was pretty useful.
But what I'm hearing is that paid version versus the free, which is an area I haven't jumped into as much, but I need to look at it, is it controls our data better and keeps it as mine, so that the searches are more limited. And as you said, Mike, the data is protected.
Yeah. And it does open you up to a few more features and things where you can keep it a little more organized and have it a little more, rather than just have a generic, shotgun approach. You can actually, hone right in. I want this document looked at and only this, and I want it looked at in this view. So it allows you to really get into it deeper.
Use it for training purposes within HR. I loved hearing Ned talk about the handbook as well, being able to just really focus in there and create efficiency. I haven't seen it yet. Maybe you guys have heard about it, but I think using it as a scheduling tool, whenever you've got multi-stores trying to cross-train and get people in multiple locations, that would just, I just remember sitting in offices and like the headache of scheduling was always such an issue, but especially when we were lean, we were trying to really spread our team out. I think that would be an amazing tool. That would be kind of next step for stores as well.
Yeah. That's good. Teresa?
I don't know, but I've definitely enjoyed learning a lot of things from you guys.
Great. Good. So it wasn't a complete waste of time is what you're saying, Teresa.
Not at all.
Thank you. That's great. That's great. All right.
Well, I was
Brandon,
gonna say,
how about
Brian-
you?
Oh,
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, so Brian, you and I have talked about from a sort of business planning and strategy perspective. So once you start getting comfortable with prompting, you can actually turn the prompt around and have AI ask you questions. So that's a really cool thing. So if you're starting to get into your deeper business strategy, or you want to kind of download your thoughts on the business, why you're in business, why you're doing the things you do, about the culture, you can feed it all the HR data, you can feed it a lot of information about the company, but then you can turn around and say, what am I missing? So what questions would you ask me? And you want to limit it because it'll ask a million questions. So you can say,
Wow.
what are the critical 3 questions that you should ask me to help inform, my culture, my strategy, my business plan. And it's pretty incredible what it'll do. So it'll find that precise thing to ask, 2, 3 things to ask, and then it just becomes part of the output of the AI. So it
Yeah.
makes it very personalized.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a good point. Yeah. There is also a very cool audio version of it too, where a voice version that I started using, which actually works out nicely when you put in some documents that you've created, because AI can be kind of quite complimentary to you, and it can point out some of the really good points that you've made that a lot of times you will skip over when you read it, and you're like, oh wow, that's right, I should emphasize that point, and then put that in as marketing material. And so it gives a nice, safe third person view of it, so to speak. Should I even say third person since we're talking about AI? Please forgive me on that. Okay, and give me a little linguistic liberty there. Great. Well, thank you. Appreciate everybody joining. If there isn't any other questions or anything, you're free to sign off, and I'll get this off to you. If you have more questions, I'll stick around for the next couple minutes, and I'll stop the recording now. Thanks, guys.